Hi Sagittarius, here is a general look at your solar chart for December 2015 and January 2016. May I wish you a happy birthday. I hope you have a good one. And but before I go on with the forecast, there's just a couple of astro thoughts I'd like to share with you. Now, that last month I was mentioning the Saturn-Neptune transit, how it's affecting us over November, December, and also popping up again at times in 2016. I also mentioned the Uranus-Pluto transit, and I just want to say something else about that now. These two, of course, are behind the general change, meltdown in some cases, huge radical change going on across the globe, culturally, economically, socially, to do with belief systems as well, especially now that Saturn has come into Sagittarius. I'll be saying more about that in the stars for 2016, which are coming out very shortly now. I just want to mention in the first half of December we have Mars in challenging aspect to Uranus. Pluto Mars can be a little bit of a trigger for these two, and tensions that are pushed down beneath the surface inherent in the Uranus-Pluto aspect will emerge, will get pushed up, like tectonic plates kind of buckling and crunching against each other, and then explosions of sort of like, the tension or the volcanic eruptions, and of course it's for a fleeting time. It's just over the first half of December. Every time Mars comes around into a cardinal sign, the same thing's going to happen, has done in 2015, will do in 2016, and of course in 2014 and 2017, because the Uranus-Pluto transit, even though it's no longer exact, is going to rumble on for a few more years, and we will see the effects globally of this. And those of us who have been on the planet a long time can really see the distinct and marked changes going on, and just how things are run, and not only that, but how the general tone of the way humans are one with one another, coming more from the mental side, the intellectual side, and far less from the heart side, because of course through the internet and through texting and blogging, and we are using our left brain a huge amount more than just meeting people down the pub. So anyway, that's a whole other subject. I just want to mention Mars coming onto here, triggering these two, might be minor in your life, but I'm just looking at the global sort of situation here. The tension build up could, is always looking like a pressure cooker for a way of release. So this could bring out the harsher side, the manipulative, controlling, unscrupulous side, particularly when Mars and Pluto get together. There's usually sort of underhand dealings going on. Or if it doesn't feel like that, then it can just feel like that one has got one's arm twisted up behind one's back because of some kind of emotional blackmail. Now, of course, we can bring these things on ourselves as well, feeling conscientious and obliged, etc. But just want you to be aware of that. So going back to the worldwide sort of influence of this, you can get an idea by the way of where these are in your natal chart, if you have it, by seeing which house they are in and then looking it up online. There's a plethora of information now online for everything to do with astrology, so just find it online. I'm going to tell you where they are in your sun sign forecast a little bit in a few minutes. So the global effects will involve, again, the banks, the governments, the financial property markets, the establishment, the status quo, and of course there's many in these sorts of positions that don't want the power base to shift, and they are in the habit of steamrolling over our universal freedoms. And of course the internet's going to come up as well, in this sort of way, as well as maybe radio and TV, because of Saturn being in the communication sign as Sagittarius. But So one side will tend to feel sort of outraged and victimized, and the other will seem, that they will not have a conscience. They will see it as their inalienable right to do these things, and will seem quite ruthless and only concerned with maintaining the control that they are used to, because they're trying to balance the books, or they just see it as they know better. And then on the flip side, energy levels can be very, very high with Mars, Pluto, I have to say. So in your personal life, if you do have a mountain to climb, if you have a fight on your hands, then under this transit, much can be achieved, and you will possibly win as well, because even though Mars is in a contentious sort of angle with Pluto, it's a sort of energy that you need, which is very stubborn, and it's energy that will dig its heels in and help you. It depends on where Mars Pluto, of course, is in your chart. So for some people this will be minor, for others, and then you'll notice people around you that are getting it more strongly because of the degrees. It's always to do with the degrees of these things on a planet or on an important point in the chart. But you'll probably win, and but you won't be able to do that without modifying something along the way, without maybe letting go of something and compromising along the way. And you'll have to be canny and intuitive, listen to that gut knowing, as the powers that be, or the controlling faction, whether that's, bosses, teachers, parents, or something even bigger than that, circumstances beyond your control, can feel like it's beyond your ability to do anything about. But this is a great aspect for getting to the bottom of things, digging out the rot, and doing that in whatever way necessary, and then to regenerate, starting with whatever is left to build upon, whether that's in your private life or in across the globe in a bigger sort of a way. And instead of coming from ego, a fear-based mentality, and this is a big ask, because we are in a time of opportunity to shift into a much more expanded, advanced level of consciousness, and this is our invitation. This, we're still in this in this turning point time, and before the whole thing shuts down, if we can't sort of step up to the plate in some way and do things in a more compassionate, refined, elegant sort of way, instead of just shouting and screaming and shooting at each other, then we're going to end up right back where we were before, and then we have got to wait another few thousand years for the other opportunity, the next opportunity to come round again, and that is related to the galactic center. So just thought I'd mention that. And now for the rest of the forecast until the 22nd, well, it's a powerful time, because the sun has come all the way around, all through all the zodiac signs, back into its home sign. The sign, rather, not the home sign, but the sign it was in when you were born. So it's a good time for you to be taking stock and having a review of the year that's gone, and being a little bit more self-indulgent, self-centered at this time. Mercury is also in your sign, so you very much got a lot on your mind in the stream of information exchange, finding out stuff, gathering information on things, making connections, consulting, sourcing information, sharing what you know more, looking at lines of communication, maybe in how to improve things there, travel, transport, feeling a bit scattered at times as well, maybe because you need to get some downtime and some quiet for yourself sometimes. And then from the 10th, Mercury moves out of there and moves into a more practical mood. And then conversations, correspondence, paperwork could be revolving more around the material side of life, property matters, possessions, resources of various kinds, water, fire, earth, air, but also food and all kinds of sort of bits of kit and equipment and desirable things. But thinking and discussions will tend to revolve around the practical side of life and whatever would be best for yourself or your piggy bank or others, and in that material sort of way, buying, selling, renting, leasing. That could also be on your mind at this time as well. And you figuring out what it is about life, about yourself, etc., that you value the most. I mean, what is really, when you sort of, cut away all of the fluff, what is the thing that is of the highest priority to you at this stage in your life's journey? What is most important now? Venus at the very beginning of the month is warming group relationships and other associations, so it's a good time for making friends, and you can find that you've got interests in common with others. You could be finding a like-minded group or looking out for others who you resonate with. Or you may be benefiting materially through a group of others who share certain interests in common, and this is a good time for making new associations from that standpoint. It's quite a progressive time, so it could be that this group that you are aligned with can help you to move forwards with your life, or maybe it's just one that you're connecting with that's helping you. And then from the 5th, Venus moves into quite an obscure sort of background area for about 3 weeks, and then there's going to be less opportunity for you to, share your feelings in a certain company. You just want to keep it to yourself. You could be mulling over how you do actually feel in certain company or about certain things. So you're in a kind of time of uncertainty in that regard. So it's just go with it. Take a step back, touch base with yourself, spend more time maybe by yourself or in solitary sort of places, healing places, nurturing places. And then also this area is about the arts, it's about spirituality and healing as well. So connecting with others within a sort of in a special little enclosed circle who are connected to these type of things, or in a sort of special little bubble, a special environment would be a good time to do that for healing, for nurturing, and for feeding your soul. Also, it's very intuitive, this area. It's connected to dreams, so you listening more to your dreams or your own intuition, or indeed listening to somebody else's, or in fact sharing your intuition with others as well, and your ability to support others, maybe in quite a detached kind of a way, but you are trying to behave or do what is best for the common good. Now, Mars, I haven't mentioned Mars. Mars is actually in a very future-orientated area of your solar chart, the same area as Venus was in until the 5th, and really firing up this area, making you the initiator with connecting, networking, or maybe on behalf of a group, being the initiator, being the one who is out in front, and others are looking to for direction maybe in some way. So this is again a group of sort of specialist others, or others that have got gravitate towards a particular interest or activity, and quite a progressive phase when things that have been shelved maybe for a long time before can now start to move forwards again, and it could be more technology orientated as well, but it's definitely time to get the ball rolling with Mars there. And then from the 22nd, finances, goods, property, or anything which affects your material security or physical well-being, your own or somebody else's, are likely to have more of center stage. And that takes us on into January. That position of the sun is going to be there until the 21st of January 2016. At the same time as the sun is there, Mercury is going to be in a communications area, which means that you will be mixing and mingling, gathering information, finding stuff up, getting your head around things, finding your way around maybe, and just in general being having your mental processes accelerated. Mercury does go retrograde between the 5th and the 25th. So just be aware then of people getting cross wires or the wrong end of the stick, or just things being held up, or there being glitches with travel, transport, vehicles, information technology, communications equipment, that kind of thing. Yeah, just be aware of that. You can look it up on the internet. So for you, that's going to be in your 3rd house. And it gives you a chance to think things over a little bit better with Mercury there going retrograde. And then Venus comes into your sign. Venus comes into your sign right at the very end of December 2015. Better late than never. But Venus is in your sign until the 24th. That's a really nice place for Venus to be, making you feel more gregarious and sort of reaching out in a warm, more relaxed kind of way. Others seeing you as attractive or charming or interesting or, you know, whatever. And a good time to apply for things. Good time to sort of stick your head above the parapet and sort of strut your stuff, as it were. And then Venus can help you to do well materially also, and can boost your love life at no end. And then Venus goes into your 2nd house of material goods, material security, possessions, property. So it's a good time to strike a bargain with someone, negotiate. It's a good time to put your head together with somebody else and figure out what is the best way to improve the piggy bank, or anything related to property, other possessions, assets of various kinds. Maybe you looking into something which you didn't realize was an asset before. The thing is, you've got Pluto there long term, and Pluto is helping you to have a deeper understanding of what you are about and what you are really here to do and what you're here for. So yeah, so with Venus coming into there, then that will be you realizing that your priorities are shifting, what you are valuing is changing. And Venus there for quite a short time, although Venus will be coming in and out of your sign actually over 2016. This is an opportunity for you to just to see if you can make the most of what you've got going for you, and get more skilled up with those sorts of things. And then Mars is still in this very progressive area until the 4th. This is in January, of course. And then from January the 4th goes into a background area where you are more introspective, you're sort of intuitive, you're tapping into your unconscious, your dreams more maybe, or maybe it's not like that. Maybe you're just wanting to beaver away at something behind the scenes and prepare something. This is the chrysalis area. This is this is where the butterfly transforms from the caterpillar into the butterfly. And also you as being a background support, a sort of hidden support, a facilitator for others, but also very much is a time where you can tap into your higher mind, your more sort of expanded version of yourself, the lighter version of yourself when Mars is there. And then for the rest of January, all of the planets are in the same place. The outer planets are in the same place. So Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are in the same place for both months, slightly different degrees, but more or less the same. Saturn is, of course, in your sign now, and this is time for you to really take you and what you're about and your life and your health and your purpose far more seriously. It comes to us all at certain times, and this is about 2 years where scenarios and conditions around you will gradually help you to learn how to persevere with what is important to you regarding your beingness in incarnation in this dimension. So no stone left unturned, but there could be occasionally obstacles to that. So it makes you pay attention, so to your well-being, or to to maybe how you're coming across to others, and others aren't getting it, or rather you're not getting how you should be putting yourself across to others. So you need to work hard at making the choices there that will lead to more comfort, happiness, success in the future. Sometimes through adversity you will be steadily building these new routines into your life, and building on, you know, the old life. And you Sagittarians born the 28th of November to the 4th of December, or with 6 to 12 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most. Or those of you with 11 to 15 degrees rising, and 4th of December to the 8th, 9th of December are going to be feeling this energy the most, this forecast period. And then Jupiter, of course, your ruling planet, very important planet for you, is in your area of career and overall life direction until next September. And this means more doors swinging open, saying, okay, you know, try it like this to put yourself out there across a wider stage. Try it like that. And you will have to separate the wheat from the chaff, because Jupiter is a learning through doing planet. It's well, Saturn is as well, but this one will give you opportunity, will say, you know, this is great, you know, try this, rather than in the way that Saturn does, which is saying, I'm going to take this away from you, I'm going to make it really hard. And so that's when your stubbornness, your obstinacy has to kick in. But that's not quite like that with Jupiter. So you may be puzzling over which is the best way to do this, or to go, the reputation I want to build, or the image, or might not be about reputation or image. It might just be in the general direction in life. You know, is this a good way to go now? Is that a good way to go now? With these elements in my life. It might not be your life totally, but on the other hand, it could be. And so once the transit is coming to an end, you will begin to feel more confident, more established in your field, or in your trajectory, shall we say. And you just identify more. This is what's behind this transit, is to help you to identify more from your inside to the outside expression and manifestation of what you're feeling on the inside in a more public sort of way. And Sagittarians born the 12th to the 16th of December, or with Sagittarius rising with 20 to 24 degrees in December and in January. So the position of Jupiter changes very little December and January. So it's the same for both months. Of course, the whole sign is going to feel these energies, Saturn and all of the outer planets. But it's just the degrees I'm giving you, or the dates I'm giving you, where you're going to feel it the most. And then Neptune is in your home area, meaning that might be a little bit of sacrifice going on there, and what you desire, what you prefer, you've got to sort of put a little bit on one side, so that facilitates the common good, you know, in some way. On the other hand, you need to just have some sacred space somewhere, because that is really important. And you Sagittarians born the 28th of November to the 1st of December, or with 6 to 8 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most in December. And then with 7 to 9 degrees rising, or the 29th of November to the 2nd of December, going to feel the energy the most in January. And then just to mention Uranus, which has been transiting for several years now, your 5th house, meaning that access to pleasurable, fun activities or interaction with children, young people, can be intermittent. It can be like on, off, blowing hot and cold, or it might be the lives of children or youngsters that you're connected with. It can be a bit like that, and you've got to adapt to their requirements or lifestyle or whatever. Or maybe it's not them, maybe it's somebody that you're in a relationship with. In fact, this Uranian energy says, okay, a love relationship has to be kept fresh. You know, this does not deliver very well if you just get into a regular humdrum routine with somebody. You've got to be doing things which are bringing a breath of fresh air into the relationship in some way or another. It might be a group connection that you have through the relationship, or you and this significant other, have this particular group connection, and then you really do enjoy other relationships within, related to the particular subject that the group has in common, whatever that happens to be. And then Pluto is, it has been for a while, and this is a few years and will be for a few years more, in your second house. I mentioned him earlier, helping you to prioritize what is really most important, what is of the highest value, the highest worth to you at this time, and in your life's journey, that's what I mean. And then really developing it, working on it, capitalizing on it, and also materially, your life could really be turning around during these years that Pluto is going through that area of your chart. And that is it for December, January 2016. I hope you have fun over the festive season. And stars for the whole of 2016 will be coming out pretty soon now. You'll see that on my website, but also I'll be speaking it onto video. And I always say listen to your moon sign or your rising sign. That can give you some more information if you want to check anything out. This is written up on my website, the basics of it. And that's it. I'll see you again the next time.